Hey all, Pixel here in Purple Garage. We're harvesting more from the corpse of this Accord. I actually got started, it's just fucking cold, but pulled the power steering pump out of this because the one in that has been whining. I'm going to pull the reservoir too because the reservoir in that one is full of fucking rust. And it'll just be easier to do it this way than to try and flush that one out. I need to pull this headlight, but I got to take the bumper off to do it because I need to pull the headlight because this car, since we've gotten it, has had two different color headlights. Don't care, like, whatever, it's kind of weird looking. But when one of them went out, I discovered, see if I can find it in this mess, it's an LED headlight and a very, very cheap one. It's plugged in, which wouldn't be a problem except the thing that mounts it into here has been glued into the headlight. Like you can actually see if you look at this headlight, the whole thing's been taken apart and then resealed. But that ring that pops into is glued in where the bulb goes, so a regular bulb will no longer fit. So this headlight is trash. But I'm about to put the other pump in. This pump is totally normal and fine. This is the pump that came out of there. I'm sure you can hear that. This thing is absolute junk. So, hey, another free fix. I'm saving some more money on with that parts Accord. All right, well, things have escalated. Blah. This idler pulley is shot. I can't get the pulley off of the tensioner. I've been trying to get the tensioner off. Got the two bolts off. I'm hammering on it like crazy with a bar. I managed to get it to rotate a little bit. And then I rotated it back a little bit and back a little bit, but it won't release from the engine. So I can't figure out how the hell I'm supposed to get this damn thing off. This mount is also completely shot. Hopefully the one on the other car is better. Hopefully this is better on the other car. But either way, I mean, this needs to be replaced because it's not far off from seizing and ruining the belt. So, such fun. I'm going to get this. It's just, I hate... This car frustrates me constantly because of this kind of stuff. It's like, okay, the power steering pump's bad. Okay, great, I'll change that. Hey, look, I found two other things that are bad. Yeah, I'm going to get back to it. All right, so this is the one that came off. Totally trashed. This is the one off the other car. Better, but not great. I can't tell if the bearing's actually bad or if it's just a little... I think I'm gonna install it. So I was able to get the other bearing off without taking the whole assembly off. In case you're having to do this job, it's reverse thread. But even then I couldn't get this one off until I went at it with the big impact. But the other one I was able to crack loose. It's just reverse thread. So now I'm going to get this damn thing back in again. And then I can start reassembly. No, you know what? Now this installed, it sounds worse. I'm going to buy another pulley. All right, so progress. I got the motor mount and I got the pulley. The pulley was 20 bucks. No way at that point I was going to reuse that questionable one. And the motor mount was 52. So might as well. I had the belts from before. I just never got around to putting them in. I would have found all these problems at that point if I had done them. But whatever. I've got the pump in and I've got that belt on. I actually took the tensioner off the other car just because I kind of beat the one up on this car trying to get it off. Once I knew it came off, I got the other one off way easier. There's a bolt down the center. It doesn't feel like it's a bolt, but it is. And then there's two outside ones. So what I need to do now is get that pulley on, get the lower belt on, and then I can put the motor mount in, reassemble everything, and the engine will be all set. I've pulled the headlight off mostly to give myself access, but obviously I'm not going to put that messed up one back on, so I got to pull the headlight off the other car. Got the bumper out to get the Um, again, that was to try and get the... I needed to take the bumper off to get the unit off because there was access problems. So yeah, reassembly time, and then hopefully this will be all set. All right, I lost the last of the footage. Car's back together. Got all those parts in. It's running properly. The new pump whines a little bit, but it works, unlike the other one. I've also swapped at the same time the bumper and the headlight from the donor car. And now that it's much warmer out, we're gonna strip a bunch more off of this parts car so that we can hopefully get it the heck out of our driveway. All right, update, some good, some bad. Got the trunk lid and the rear bumper cover swapped over. The reason we swapped the trunk lid is that one's actually crunched in the corner. This car had an accident in this general area, and that whole corner of the trunk lid was pushed in, so it didn't quite seal well. So that's all good. Bummer. I was swapping the seats and realized this has airbags in the seat. This one didn't. Because again, 99, 2000, so apparently that's another thing that changed. If I install them, it's going to have an airbag fault light. And obviously I don't want that, and I also don't want her to be driving around with airbags. I can't even swap over the covers because these covers are designed with the breakaway seam for the airbag to come out. These obviously aren't because no airbag, so they wouldn't work properly with an airbag in it. So that's a bummer. I'm going to take a look at how hard it is to get the bottom cushion out. And if that comes out relatively easy, I may just swap that, because that's really the major problem. Like, so this is why these need to be changed out. You can see it's just completely trashed. The seat up here, oh, it's pretty bad too. All right, well, so much for that idea. Oh well, that's a bummer. So I guess I'm bolting those seats back in this car, and I think I might be done for today. I think I might be done. I think this may be the point where I'm like, fuck it, get rid of that thing. Because at this point, that car cost us $400. They gave us a set of 4 basically brand new tires, which we had a quote for $700 for this car, so that was already ahead. We got basically new back brakes out of it. I got a wheel bearing out of it. I got the front and rear bumper covers. I got a headlight. I got the trunk lid. In the engine compartment, I got a better but not great power steering pump. I was able to steal that connector for the injector. I stole the intake out of it, and I think there was some other stuff, but I'm forgetting it now. But I mean, I think we can safely say we got our money's worth out of this car. And then, oh, I got the biggest thing is I got the catalytic. The other big thing is I got the catalytic converter out of this, which a new one would have been hundreds of dollars. And then I sold the bad one out of this car that I'd replaced for $200. So I'm actually down to this car costing $200. So it's an even better deal at this point. I probably can get the scrapyard to give me $200 for it. So I think I can. I think without any guilt and without any, oh, maybe I should have, I think at this point I can make this thing go away, and that would be really good. Yeah, I'm not gonna just immediately call a scrapyard. I'm gonna put it up on Facebook Marketplace for anybody who wants to either buy parts off of it or wants to buy the whole thing. Because this is a totally rust-free shell. This was a Washington State car, and it has no rust in it anywhere. Like, for New England, like even in the engine compartment, there's basically no rust. It's kind of disgusting from what I'm used to dealing with in New England. So somebody who has one that runs good but is all rusty, who's willing to, do a major swap over, they could take this shell and turn it back into a really nice car with all their bits. So yeah, I think put the seats back in, put this bumper and headlight on just so this thing looks more presentable, and then I think I'm gonna get rid of it. And I think at that point I can call it worthwhile. So what does that put me on the car? Well, I bought it for $500. realistically, I should include I spent 50 bucks on the tow dolly to get it home. And then I sold the cat for 200. I sold the car itself for 225. I sold the front bumper and fender and lights for 50 bucks. He was mostly buying the fender. The rest of it was all kind of crap, so just 50 bucks. And then after I swapped the mirrors onto her car, the mismatch set that had been on my partner's car, I ended up selling to somebody for 40 bucks. So higher than the value of the car, once you include the tow dolly, a little under, but for that, either very slight profit or very slight cost, depending on how you want to figure it, we got 4 basically brand new tires. We got basically brand new rear brakes, a wheel bearing, the mirrors, good front bumper, good rear bumper, non-bent trunk, headlight that didn't have a messed up LED bulb in it, power steering pump, fuel injector connector, airbox, hose. I think there was some other stuff. I think that's everything. Oh, catalytic converter with oxygen sensor. So all total, we came out way ahead. Like, we were already way ahead with the tires, and then with all the other stuff we got off of it, and then basically getting, essentially almost zeroing out the car. Yeah, that was great. All I had to do was sit in my driveway for longer than I wanted, but whatever. I really need to not make a habit of this, just because parts cars are, they're always a risk. The Foldsmobile, that terrible parts car I bought for the Oldsmobile like a couple of years ago, I lost a bunch of money on that. This most recent one for the Oldsmobile that I scavenged the stuff off of, obviously I was never going to make money off of that because I was paying the guy for the right to pull parts off and he was keeping the shell. But that one cost me quite a bit of money, but I did get the bumper I really needed off of it, so I'm okay with that. There's definitely money in buying really cheap cars that are in overall good condition but have one major problem, a blown engine, a blown transmission, whatever, and then piecing them out. You just have to have the patience and the time and the willingness to deal with all the idiots from Facebook Marketplace. Because, oh boy, did I run into idiots from Facebook Marketplace on this one. A bunch of people who didn't read the ad, who wanted to know how well the car ran and stuff like that, and then would invariably get really pissed at me when I told them it's a parts car. My favorite was the guy who started insulting the cars. Like, I don't even want your piece of shit car. It's like, do you think that's an like, I know it's a piece of shit car. That's why I'm selling it as a parts car or for scrap. So there's always that, no matter how well you phrase literally the ad was 1999 Honda Accord parts car was the title, and they still were messaging me wanting to know, like, it runs right, it runs well, and everything works right. That guy who showed up to buy it, who couldn't tell that it didn't have a cat in it, even though the ad said so. A bunch of other massive lowballers for scrap. Like, people are offering me like $100 for scrap. It's like, you can go F yourself. I will make more money. I mean, realistically, I could have rented the tow dolly again, hauled it to the scrapyard, and made more money than having somebody buy it off of me. But I didn't want to deal with that. I don't know which yards pay the best around here. I didn't want to deal with it. So I was willing to take that loss for somebody else dealing with hauling it out of here and all of that. And then there was people just asking for one guy really wanted the wheels, made me send him a bunch of pictures, and then just ghosted on me before we even got to the point of price. Another person wanted the wheels, and I was like, hey, the guy's coming to pick it up today, so you need to be willing to come get them today. He goes, no problem. I gave him the price. He's like, that's totally fair. That's a totally fair price. I will absolutely, pay, that's totally reasonable. And then immediately blocked me. So, what the heck was going on there? And then just a lot of flakes. But yeah, her car's running good. It's got all those upgraded parts from that thing. I'm going to call that a win. And I now have a parking space back, which when I moved the car was full of a bunch of chunks of metal from having cut the cat out. And it's just like, basically, if I hadn't noticed, there would have been an absolute tank trap. We would have ended up blowing out one of those tires we just gotten. But we didn't, so we're cool there. So I'm going to go inside because it's wet and cold and rainy, as you can tell. And you all have a good day. Thanks very much. Bye.